Hey guys, and welcome to We Are Called, where we take a look at life's challenges from a Catholic perspective. Today we're going to talk about homeschooling and whether or not that might be an option for your family this year. So if you may be asking that question, to homeschool or not to homeschool, stay tuned as I offer you 3 tips for making that decision. Right. First suggestion I have for answering should I homeschool or should I not homeschool would be to let go of your fear. Don't let fear be the thing that keeps you from trying this, because here's the deal. You have been your child's teacher since day one. Think about it. You were with them as they learned to crawl, as they took their first step. When they said their first word, you were there. You were encouraging them. You were giving them the positive reinforcement they needed. And look at them now. They're like little all-stars, right? So this is something that you are well capable of. And really, there's no one better qualified than yourself. After all, you know what works for your child and what doesn't. So it should come to you quite naturally. And if you think about it, all the many things that they know how to do and that they've been doing and learning and expounding upon have been thanks to you. So don't believe the lie that you can't do this, because you can. And there are so many resources available to help you out, to help give you that added encouragement that you may be looking for. So for example, your public library, they have a wealth of resources available to you. They'll be able to give you information on local homeschooling co-ops. They'll be able to give you information on activities and programs that they include every day of the week to help reinforce your student learner in anything from science and math to reading and phonics. They've got the hook up there for you, and they'll be able to get you in touch with those people who are kind of leading the way in your area. A second great resource for you is your church family, your home parish. Talk to some of these individuals who are in charge of the religious ed program, who may be some of those secretary and personnel folks within the church office. They know of the homeschooling families that are already present and that are thriving in your church family. Reach out to them. My experience has been they are overjoyed to share what they have done, what has worked for them, what hasn't worked for them. And they're just a great resource to have to kind of give you the encouragement that you may be looking for and kind of prompt you along on the journey to success. And if you're lucky, they'll be welcoming you to join them, because as we all know, Catholic families tend to be quite large. So the chance that they've got one of their children, are the same age and the same grade as your child is a good percentage, right? So why not just tag along? Why not see what a typical day in the life of a homeschooling family looks like, especially if they're offering that for you? So jump on that, take that as your resource, and learn from them. The third resource that you have available, and that you've probably already thought about, is the ever-knowing and all-encompassing Google. So Google can link you to some of those co-ops, as I've mentioned before, in your area that can help to implement some of what you're teaching and some of what you're going to be covering this year for your student. In a lot of these co-ops, you've got moms and dads who are offering to teach bits and pieces of those 4 core subject areas, and they're amazing at it. So that's step 1. Step 2 would be to take time to make God a part of this decision-making process. So any major decision in our life, we should be of the mind to make God a part of that anyway. And I think for most of us, especially most of us Catholic moms, we probably spend a good bit of our time in prayer, asking God to help us in our day-to-day routine. So this should be something that you may already be doing, in which case If you feel like perhaps God has been speaking these words to you for some time now, encouraging you to homeschool, this may be your shot this year. This may be the time for you and your family. So I would encourage you to spend some time in quiet reflection, to open yourself up to hearing the voice of God, and to be brave. It takes courage to take this step, especially if this is brand new to you. And it's a little intimidating. Ask God to help give you the courage to take this step and to trust Him that He will be there for you, helping you along the way. And just to put it out there, one of those great benefits of being Catholic is that we do have the intercession of the saints. So take the time. If you've been praying about this to God and you feel like you haven't received the answer you're looking for yet, take the opportunity, right? Invoke that intercession of the saints. Saint Joseph, the patron of the Holy Family, right? He wants to be patron of your family as well, my family. What better saint to pray to? Let's not forget Our Lady's intercession always for us, no matter what we come to her in need of. And don't discredit your patron saint. So invoke that intercession of your patron saint. A quick Google search can help you to discover even more saints that you could be praying to in a novena, in a daily prayer setting. Let's not forget about St. Maximilian Kolbe, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, both patrons of Catholic education. So they would be a good one to reach out to as well. So thank God for our Catholic faith. Thank God for the intercession of the saints. Let's use that as we're coming to God, making this a prayerful decision and not just something that we're acting on super quick. All right, so my third suggestion and final suggestion in this process would be to figure out what's best for your family. You know what's going to work for your family. You know what you guys can make happen and what's going to be too much of a struggle. So why not come down with a list of pros and cons? What are some things that you could stand to gain from homeschooling this year? That might look like, the school systems are kind of struggling to figure out how they're going to make sure all of the students are safe each day and that their chance for being infected with the virus is super low. There's really no one size fits all for us across the nation. So one of your pros may be, if our kids are here all day, every day, I know where they are, I know that they're safe, I know that we're taking the precautions that we need to make sure that all of us are staying healthy and strong. So for myself, that would have been number one on my pro list, is that I could make sure everybody was safe and all in the same area. You may look at another pro as being, we can kind of monitor what it is that our kids are learning. So public school settings often can contradict with some of our Catholic teaching, maybe contradicting some of those moral values that you're trying to instill within your kids at home as well. So if you are having a hand in what they are learning day to day, then you have a better control of the things that you want them to learn, and in an environment that's going to really help them to flourish spiritually with the moral discipline necessary to make it in our world today. On the same token, you can also look at some of the cons. So there will most likely be sacrifices in order to get this accomplished, in order to homeschool for your family. You may be looking at, maybe you're going to have to give up that office area that you've got in your house and convert that into a schoolroom. You may have an area in your home that was designated for something else that you can maybe convert over. Maybe you'll have to move some things around, sell some furniture, perhaps, but you can make it work. If you got the desire there and you guys are willing to make it work, then it can. You also may be considering, we're a 2-income family. How are we going to have the time to teach our kids if both of us are working? And that's really more of a serious conversation. That's where considering what works best for your family is going to come into play, because not all households can have a parent stay home and quit their job just in order to teach their kids. And it's really something that merits true discussion with your significant other, as well as step 2, which is that discerning of God's will. So, all of these pieces kind of come together to help you to make that decision, to know what's best for your family. So if you're finding out that you've got more pros than cons on your list, then congratulations! This could be the year for you. This may be when you take that leap of faith and you embark on the homeschool life. And I can tell you, as being 3 years into this for myself, I don't even want to look back. We had our kids in private Catholic school, and they did learn a lot, and it was really good for them. But I've really seen them thrive and grow exponentially since we've been able to homeschool. And for myself, I can't put a price tag on knowing that my kids are safe. My kids are learning what we need them to learn, what's essential to learn, obviously, but then with the discipline of a Catholic home. So it's been fantastic. And if you feel like, and if your pros list far exceeds your cons, I encourage you to take this step, my friends, because you will look back on this years from now and go, I can't believe we did this, and I'm so glad we did. It has been so good for our family, and the fruits that will come from this, just organically, the closeness that your family will experience, it's time that you can't put a price on, because it won't be available again. You can't recreate 2nd grade, you can't recreate 3rd grade, and to have that and have your kids with you through those years just really makes the family unit strong. So the 3rd suggestion would be to let's decide if this fits our family model and if we can make it work. So to recap, the 3 things that I would suggest you do when deciding to homeschool or not to homeschool. First suggestion was to let go of your fear. You can do this. You can work with your child and teach them all the things they need to know, plus some, and have a great time doing it. Step 2, make God part of your conversation. Let him speak to you. Let him encourage you. Let him lead you, and trust that he's going to do what's best for you and your family. And step 3, make that list of pros and cons. Figure out if this is something that you can do for your family, and if it's going to bring you that peace of mind that may far exceed any sacrifice that you have to make. So really sit down and spend some time with that. Get yourself a list worked up and see if it's workable for you this year. All right, guys, so that's it. Those were the 3 suggestions when considering to homeschool or not to homeschool. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like button down below. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment in the comment section. Let me know what were some extra things that we could have included on this list. What are some other things maybe to consider when taking the leap of homeschool? What were some of the items on your pros list and your cons list? If you liked the video that you saw and you may be interested in more from this channel, looking at life's challenges with a Catholic perspective, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell so that you get notifications, as we'll be uploading videos every week. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Blessings to you and yours.